Talk about how weird it is when someone comes on the internet and talks about a health issue, the number of people that then come into the comments and tell them that they need to take this, and this supplement. Like, I understand that it's coming from a place of like wanting to help, but I just want to urge people who do this, like, you need to be careful because you are falling into the area of practicing medicine without a license. Especially because in that video that this was commented on, I did ask for advice or help, but I made sure to very clearly state the scope of which I wanted that advice to be in. And it was whether or not I should get a second opinion and how I should respond to my doctor to better advocate for myself regarding how she's reacted to my lesions on my brain not showing up on my MRI with contrast, telling me that it could possibly be an MS lesion, but they don't know enough yet, and that I should have another MRI in 4 months, even though I'm having a lot of MS symptoms. And I did take a moment to Google what this specific thing is, Boswellia, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But regardless, this is still not okay behavior. You have no idea what medications or supplements I already take. You have no idea if what you're suggesting will have negative interactions with those things that I take or could have a negative outcome. Like, I appreciate and I understand what you're saying, but this is not, like, don't do this. Don't tell people that they should take certain medications. Especially, like, you phrased it, you should blah, blah, blah. It's one thing if you'd said, when this happened to me, like, I took this supplement and it helped me, still, some gray area, but, like, you're literally practicing medicine with this. Now let's get into the studies that are actually on this topic. So I found this article on WebMD called Effects of Boswellia papyrifera, I don't know how to say the word, I'm not even gonna try, on cognitive impairment and multiple sclerosis. The first thing I want to point out in this study is the sample size is really small. It's only 64 people. And of that sample size of 64, only 13 patients had already taken this and saw significant improvements. And while I'm not saying that's insignificant, it's still small. This is a very small study that was done. And their conclusion was that it showed significant improvement in spatial memory. I'm struggling with words today. There's that MS slurring coming through, but had no effect on verbal memory and information processing speed. Honestly, in my opinion, the conclusion for this should be also that this study should be replicated with this larger sample size as well, just to confirm, because it is such a small group. And so while this suggestion is not as outlandish as and unhinged as some comments I've gotten suggesting that I should try different supplements that really have no efficacy or studies on them that show their effectiveness, it still is like wild behavior. And I think that this is something like parasocially, this is something that everybody needs to be less comfortable doing. Not just even people on the internet, although there's a lot of people on the internet that do this to me, but people in my like day-to-day life as well. There are plenty of people when I tell them what's going on with my health, they're like, oh, you just need to take this supplement. Like when I had, I still have ADHD, but as I was talking about it and like medication in the past, I've had so many people tell me that I need to take certain supplements like St. John's wort, I think. And what they didn't know is that obviously I couldn't take that supplement because it had negative interactions with other medications I took for other health issues I have. And that's what's so dangerous about people giving medical advice about stuff like this, like medications that could alter your body without knowing your full medical history. And that's the problem I have, is like, I'm giving specific information and saying from this specific information, I would like this specific type of advice. And people are so quick to just say, you're actually all wrong. Like, you shouldn't do any of those things. You need to do this, this, and this instead, assuming that they have all information about my health when they don't. And they don't know the background information or previous things that I've done or possibly explored. And it's just like, it's just weird. It's weird parasocial behavior, in my opinion. Okay? It's weird. Please stop.